A new month, a new theme for the YouTube Collab Loop group and for my creative journal. Hello everybody, this is Priya here. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning. And if this is the first time, thank you so much for taking some time to check out my channel. Hope all of you liked today's video. And if you're here from the YouTube Collab Loop group, I truly appreciate you. And so do all of us in the Loop group. If you're not familiar with how the Loop group works, I will talk to you a bit more in detail after we get started. So before that, let's go through all the supplies we are using today. I do have a few washi tapes and a few sticker books, all from Planything, pulled out along with a couple of the tombos. And for today, the YouTube Collab Loop group theme is the sun. So I'm going ahead and counting the number of pages I will need for the month because this is my creative journal. And I come every month and write down the highlights of the month, the memories, all those things specific to that month. And I'm counting the number of pages I will need for my journal for the month, just so that I will know where exactly to start. And going through those elements for summer because the theme is sun. And I thought I can bring in all the beachy, nautical vibes that we all love. And that is my first layer of the Dutch door that I'm laying out. So you see me do all kinds of Dutch doors, but I try and bring in some element of freshness each month. And I'm trying something new this month, definitely. Again, as you expect, it's so much fun. This truly is my creative journal because I'd like to get creative in here. And I try to test out different techniques and methods that can be brought in for some fun elements. And these are the couple of new sticker books I picked up from Planything. She had an amazing blowout sale. So it lasted a week, if I'm not mistaken. And you can use my code Priya10 for 10% off at Planything. And it does help me out with the growth of the channel a bit. So I would really appreciate your support. And onto the second page, and I marked where exactly the line should be. And you will know why. If you've seen the Dutch doors before, you know why I do this. And if not, keep watching, you will understand. As I repeat this process multiple times, you will figure out exactly why I do this. So trying to bring in all the beachy elements and all the nautical elements. And for the YouTube Collab Loop group, our theme is sun, as I mentioned earlier. So it is a great place where I can bring in all the outdoorsy, beachy vibes because you can have all of these when the sun is out. Can't do all this practically in the winter, am I right? So sun is the reason why all of these activities are possible, and that's my handy dandy gyro cut, which I also have a tutorial on as it was much requested. People are a bit skeptical about using these or getting these because it's such a nice tool. And for straight lines, I use the ceramic cutter from Fiskars. All the products I'm using here are all linked in the description if you want to pick it up. I also have the gyro cut tutorial, which I will link. And not many people are comfortable with how to hold and how to get the cuts very well. So I would say just watch the tutorial. I have explained everything in there. So on to building some symmetry onto the other side, and I will try and replicate the exact elements. But sometimes what happens is when you do the symmetry, it's not inverted. It's the same sticker, you see. So sometimes I have to play around and figure out what works for that shape up there because I have cut that page and that girl would work perfectly because it's the same girl. And the other elements, I'm trying to see what other elements went there and so that I can at least narrow down the stickers and the shapes that are on the other side. So that is almost that page done. So I like when we do have something to look at on either side. You can obviously do the Dutch doors just on one side. I don't quite like to do that because I like to see something on either side, and just trying to mark the page for the next layer. And I did try and play around with a couple of washi tapes here, but then I ended up ripping that because I did not quite like how these washi tapes looked along with the rest of the elements. These are all from Planything. These are slightly older sticker books that I had picked up from a couple of years ago, and trying out another one. And I could have edited this part off, but I also wanted to share that it's not easy the first time. It's a lot of trial and error as you try to combine elements. So that is why I decided to keep all of these footage, so that you will see it's not perfect the first time around, not always at least. So bringing in some more of the summer elements, mixing and matching between the different books we have, trying to see what could be brought there. But then I thought that it would cover up a lot of the elements behind there. So I'm going with this ice cream truck. And then later, once I put that down, I realized that the washi tape really is throwing me off. So then trying to bring in some more of those elements, just so that we've stayed in hotels right next to the beach, and all of these fun things keep happening at the near poolside near the beach. So just a couple more elements for near the pool or near the beach, and onto cutting and just cutting around all the elements, because that is what gives it that interest. And it once you have the right pressure, this is really thick 160 GSM Archer and Olive journal, and my code Priya10 works for 10% off at Archer and Olive as well. So just saying that at a few shops there is some uniformity there. I wanted to have that. So now I realize that the washi tape is throwing me off. So bringing in the red, and that ruler works as a washi cutter too. So that is the next layer done. So doing the symmetry part, going behind there, and getting that washi down first before anything else. And then I will come and do the symmetrical elements. It is hard because again the stickers are not quite the same, because you need to be able to flip them for proper symmetry, which is just not there. So just trimming off that extra excess that was sticking out, I had not realized. So just playing around and making sure that that umbrella and the pool chair actually looks good with the symmetry. And that ice cream truck, I will have to play around a bit to make sure it is not sticking off the page, because sometimes that's what happens, because these elements, again, as I said, it's not the exact flipped images, so it is a lot of playing around with the elements. And on to the next layer, and just trying to make sure I have the washi tape correctly, so that I can start layering the next element for the Dutch door. And I'm just trying to see what other elements could go with them, but I'm going with some of the tropical beach elements. And back to this one. So as I was saying, so if you are part of the YouTube collab loop group, welcome once again. And the whole concept is, if you start with my video, just continue on with the loop. I will have the next person's video tagged down below. So you continue on and so forth. And once you get back to me, you will know that you will have completed the entire loop. And if you have not started with me, just continue on to the next person and you will end up with the same person who you started with. So all of us are growing YouTubers and we all have the same theme. And a huge shout out to Lisa Marie who manages all these loop groups. I'm in 2 of the loop groups that she manages. She has multiple ones. I think she has one every week. So I'm on 2 and I'm so appreciative of all the efforts that she takes to make sure all of these run successfully. And make sure you follow along and subscribe to all the channels, and please leave us all a comment, subscribe, and please be supportive. We are all trying to grow. And I think the symmetry is really coming together. I really love these fun elements. And the tropical beach is in fact a combination of 2 earlier sticker books from a couple of years ago. I have used that sticker book quite well. So I was glad that Planything brought that summary goodness back. I did struggle a bit here to fill that white space because none of the elements were small enough and the perfect shape to be able to fit in that limited space I had. But somehow it was a lot of hunting I had to do for the pages, and the symmetry, it did come out quite well, but again, the process was a bit longer. And I am speeding up this process because I do not want you to be sitting here for an hour and a half where this actual footage is. So just trying that quote from there. Planything books again have the decorative elements, the quotes, the functional boxes, of course, along with bullet points, multiple shaped boxes, all sorts of fun elements you can bring in to create some interest. And on to the last page. And here is when you will notice that I did some layering, and then I realized that I had cut off a bit too much of the page behind. So you will see as we progress, and trying to bring some more floral elements. And that space is it's like cutting off the entire page. So just decided to bring those elements a bit up. But then what happens is, you will see, and I just trimmed off the edge. And then what happens is I go to actually do the symmetrical part of it, trying to lay the washi down. And then I go back to actually trimming the elements in the front. And you will see the mistake I will have to fix once that's almost the entire page cut off. So that is a bit of a sad situation, but just because I wanted to bring that element there, I had to do it. So you see there is a white portion in there in between the last floral layer and the next one. So I hadn't noticed that much at this point, focusing on filling up the symmetrical elements that need to be taken care of. So trying to use some of those elements from the other floral bunches to fill in that extra space there. So trying to bring in some of those bigger elements to fill in that extra space we have, and then major surgery on the stickers. And what do you do for summer? Do you have any fun activities planned for this summer? And how do you enjoy your time at the beach or the pool? How do you do that? So now it's time to fix that white gap and adding another layer so that the white doesn't show as much. So I think now it looks okay. And onto the actual sun. And that's a functional box from Planything. And I'm treating that as a sun. So we need a sun for our sun theme. So using the Tombow pens, two of them in a yellow and a slightly darker yellow, the numbers being 991 and 062 to make the rays. So the sun rays look really pretty. And that is one last addition onto the other page so that we will have some more fun elements, that water and that beachy element, and one of those gorgeous mermaids, tropical mermaid, and a small little palm tree. And that should be it. I now need to come and add the month, which is June, and the fun alphabet from Planything is what I'm going for. And thought I would bring in some different fonts this time. So mixing in those colors, and these fonts really match the theme and the spread. So onto that. So I also brought in a few boxes that I will show you in a bit. So that's my creative journal for the month of June. Hope you liked today's video. I would appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to my channel and turning on the bell notification if you haven't already. I would really appreciate your support. So this is a quick flip through we are doing. So that's the second page. And with the third one, you will see how the layers start building on the left side as well. Nice fun components for summer, and our theme sun, who is enjoying all of these beachy scenes. Please come hang out with me on Instagram. I'll have all the details below, and please don't forget to check out the next video in the loop. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in my next one. Bye.